Yo, what's happening, guys? I wanted to come to you with another video covering the topic of people wanting to wire their amplifiers to a lower ohm load than what is warranted. What is this, by any chance? If you don't know what I'm talking about, what is an ohm load? An ohm load is created by your subwoofers or speakers on your amplifier, which can make it put out more power the lower the ohm load. You may hear about people wiring to 1 ohm, to 0.66 ohm, to half ohm, to 0.35, to 0.175, all these different ohm loads. Why do people do this? Why do people want to do this? And why you should probably not do this if you're a daily ground pound type of person. First and foremost, you need to realize that if you're going to be wiring to a very low ohm load, there are circumstances that come with that, which could be blowing your amplifier really fast. It could fail because it's not rated or warranted to play at such a low ohm load. That's why a lot of your amplifiers, all of the amps that I sell, Crescendo has a half ohm warranty option on their BC line. I'm not sure if they're doing it on their new BC line that they're coming out with, but anyway, Sundown Audio, Incriminator Audio, DC Audio, Scar Audio, all these other brands, they're rated and warranted at 1 ohm because this is what they deem as a safe running ohm load for their equipment. And then you have people turn around and want to run them at half ohm or 0.35 or even lower, and I'm like, why? Or quarter ohm, why? Like, people see there's so much misinformation or misguidance on the internet. It just kills me because it's causing a lot of the beginners to get into a lot of trouble with their new systems. Oh, I saw such and such running their system at half ohm. They didn't have any issue with their amp. Why did I blow my amp? Oh, I saw so-and-so running their amp at quarter ohm. They didn't have any issue because their rise, like my system is going to be rising past 1 ohm, so I should be good wired at 0.25, right? No, this is not accurate. So don't go off of other people, what other people are doing, and be upset when you blow your amplifier because you're voiding the warranty by going with a lower ohm load than 1 ohm. So if you do want to walk on the line, or you do want to play with the devil on going to a lower ohm load, yes, you probably see a lot of people doing it. Like I did it in my Tahoe. I don't know, I may be doing it again, but I'm 100% taking responsibility. There's a difference between people taking responsibility in their actions and people that want to go at the low ohm load and then cry about it when they blow their amplifier and don't want to take responsibility for it. So if you're going to go with the low ohm load, you need to 120% be willing to take responsibility for it. As soon as you hook that amplifier up, boom, your amplifier blows up. You need to be okay with that. You don't need to be the one pointing fingers trying to blame it on everybody else but yourself, because you're the one that took the thought process and took the responsibility of doing this. So anyway, take the responsibility first and foremost. There are things that can help you be able to run at a lower ohm load if you would like to. The number one reason of why people want to run at a lower ohm load is because generally you get more power out of your amplifier creating a lower ohm load. So people want to do that to try and combat box rise. Box rise happens when you start playing your system. You may be wired at, say, a 1 ohm load or a half ohm load, and when you start playing it, the box rise, there's cabin rise, there's all these different variables that may make your amplifier see a higher load. So you could go from a half ohm load to a 1.5, 2, 4, 8 ohm load, depending on your vehicle, but you'll never know that until you do your testing in your own vehicle. There's no way to guesstimate what ohm load you're going to be rising to with your particular system. It's all in testing. Anyway, so people try to combat their ohm load rise right off the get-go by wiring to a lower ohm load. But say you build a super efficient system and you don't have any ohm load rise. So you wire at 0.25 and your amp is seeing 0.25 or 0.5 at the most, and you end up blowing your amp. So these are things, again, you need to be responsible for your actions. If you're going to walk down this slippery slope, you need to be okay with it. The second thing, there are some amplifiers that are more okay with being wired to a lower ohm load than others. For instance, you may hear people talking about a Korean-based board. They're known to be more heavy-duty, more reliable, more willing to accept lower ohm load, being wired to a lower ohm load. So other amplifiers such as your Chinese-based boards are typically not a fan of it. They usually blow super fast when people try to push them past their 1 ohm like rating or warranty window. So if you are going to walk on that line, I would highly suggest using some Korean-based board, heavy-duty, more reliable type of amplifier, not a Chinese-based board. Just speaking from the knowledge I've gained over the years of me doing car audio in that aspect. The next thing you need to do is you need to have a very strong electrical. Another recipe for disaster is people wanting to wire to a very low ohm load and not have the electricals to support it. So with electrical, you may want to go look at, I'll put the link to the description in the video below on how I suggested you upgrading your electrical and getting ready to do like a bigger system. Like I suggest alternator first, then your batteries and stuff like that. But anyway, so you want to have a very strong electrical to support your amplifier so it can actually do the work. One of the worst things that you can do is try to wire low and not have the electrical to support your amplifier. That's an instant recipe for disaster on blowing your amplifier. It doesn't matter if it's Chinese, Korean, what brand it is, that's an instant recipe for disaster if you're blowing your amplifier. So if you are going to be wiring low, you want to make sure you have a high output alternator, all big wiring, ample battery support or battery reserve. So that will help you, help give you a little bit added insurance on not blowing your amp right off the bat. But that's just things that you can do to help. There's no guarantees. So anyway, I wanted to cover that because I get asked that all the time, like, JP, I want to get this amp, but I want to wire it to 0.25 or whatever. I'm like, wow, like why not just, so people want to buy 4K, wire it to 0.25 and try to get 5,500 out of it. And I'm like, why don't you just buy 5,500 and wire it to 1 ohm? Like people, I guess they're trying to save $3 by getting the cheaper amp, overworking it, and then they have more chance of blowing it than getting a little bit more expensive amp, say a 5,500, and then wiring it to a 1 ohm load and you having a more playable system. Also with wiring an amplifier to a lower ohm load is going to heat up faster because it's working harder. It's almost like you redlining your engine all the time. It's gonna heat up, it's gonna it's very taxing on an amplifier. So that's some other things to think of when you're wanting to walk down this slippery slope of, or walking down the plank, I guess you could say, of wiring an amplifier to a low ohm load. So I wanted to cover this for you guys because I get the question a lot and it makes me wonder why people want to do it. It's especially like on daily systems. It's very taxing. You really need to be able to take the responsibility of going down that. So don't try to do a low ohm load, or don't try to play the low ohm load game if you're not 100% willing to take the responsibility of the circumstances of, as soon as you hooking that up, your amplifier blows and it's your fault. It's not the equipment's fault. The warranty guidelines are set out. There's only one amplifier brand that I sell that actually offers a half ohm warranty option, and that's Crescendo. So if you're wanting to do the half ohm route and you want to be warranted within that, you need to, like I said, the only one that I know of that warranties at half ohm is Crescendo. So, and you have to purchase an additional warranty to do the half ohm option. So that's something else to look at. Anyway, if you have any other questions, just let me know. Appreciate you coming and checking this video out. If you'd like to support me, check out my website, downforsoundshop.com. It's your #1 source for all of your car audio needs. Let me know if you have any other questions. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments below. And if you have any other questions, just drop them below and I'll see if I can answer them as well. Appreciate your support. We'll see you in the next video.